Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining O2 Mindsets. I am Dee Hill.
And I'm RJ.
He is back. He thought he was gone, but he ain't going nowhere. How you feeling?
Feeling good.
All right, this is the O2 Mindsets Sports Edition. We're going to be trying to do this segment weekly on the big sports news of the week.
And right now, we're on the cusp of football season.
Word.
We're going to hit a little football. Good iron.
Right. And who's your team?
The Cowboys.
All right.
America's team.
And
they're not just my team, they're America's team.
Now, how did you become a Cowboys fan?
Well, being from Connecticut, we don't have an actual football team. I told the story many times.
No, you don't.
So, you can be a Giants fan, you can be a Patriots fan, because I guess technically,
because of the
New England will be technically the team, but no one was a Patriots fan growing up, and that includes all my family that are now Patriots fans.
I feel like I remember you being a Patriots fan for a while. What happened with that?
You talking about that one Super Bowl with the Patriots fans?
Maybe so. Maybe so.
I rooted for them. That was like their first one, but I'm not a Patriots fan. Never will be a Patriots fan. But the Cowboys were, they were the team on TV playing the Steelers back in the day, so I just gravitated towards the Cowboys. So I got stuck. And I'm a real fan, so I stick with them.
Okay, a Northerner Cowboys fan. It happens.
Yeah.
Today we're going to talk about some of the big issues that came up.
We're not going to talk about the Falcons a little bit.
What do you want to say about the Falcons?
I don't know. They played the Patriots in a.
They did, and
big Super Bowl
they did very well in the first half.
28-3, was it?
It was terrible.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't want to.
I was at a good friend of mine's bachelor party during that fiasco.
Oh, wow.
And
was he a Falcons fan too?
He was a Falcons fan.
Okay.
Yeah, still is, I think.
Okay.
And we were all having fun, and having good conversation, watching the game. Falcons have this.
Yeah.
And then, the rest of the game after the little bit of the third quarter.
Yeah.
It
was like you
depressing.
can see it's like a slow accident. You can see just.
It sort of ruined the bachelor party. I felt sorry for him.
Oh, man.
But, it turned out he had a good wedding afterwards, so it was a little bit of retribution.
Cool.
So this week, we're going to talk about Ezekiel Elliott's holding out on his contract and not practicing. And then we're going to look at the Andrew Luck deal, his early retirement, which was a big surprise to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And later on in the segment, we'll talk a little bit about Jay-Z and his contract or joining the NFL for his agreement with them. So, Ezekiel Elliott, he's been with Dallas, since 2016?
Yeah, about 3 years. Two-time NFL rushing champ.
Right.
But yeah, he's the best. In my opinion, he's the best running back, strictly running back in the NFL.
Currently,
yes.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah. There are some that are more well-rounded, like they catch the ball. Ezekiel's he's an all-around best running back.
Yeah, last year I guess he had 95.6 yards per game rushing.
Yeah.
And like I said, he's a two-time NFL rushing champ, which is impressive for a 24-year-old.
Yeah.
And so he had a contract. His contract, what is it, a 5-year?
Yeah, it's a rookie deal, 5 years, and so they're basically slotted into a contract. So depending on where you're drafted at.
Gotcha.
And so his, say base where he got his money, but he wants more money.
And his contract's not up. And
it's not up. But it's funny though with the Cowboys, there's actually a precedent for that because Emmitt Smith, the all-time, he's the greatest running back ever. I don't know what you think about, but the greatest running back ever did the same thing.
Yeah.
His first 2 years, he was a rushing. He was only his first 2 years again. He was running. He won the title.
Okay.
As far as the rushing champ, and then he held out.
I got you.
He held out for the first 2 games, and then they actually won the Super Bowl that year.
So essentially, you're making the point that they proved themselves to be worth more
exactly
than what their contract was actually paying them. So why not say, give me more, even though I'm still within contract.
Because quarterbacks, normally, they get the big bucks
right.
of all the players.
Yeah.
I think defensive ends or something like that, they might be second in line as far as...
And running backs have a shorter career span.
Right.
So why not go ahead and get all of the money that you can?
Right.
But I'm sure there's a lot of people saying, though, that's sort of... a contract is a contract, you know, and if you break it, that's sort of a character flaw, so to say. You know, but hey, millions of dollars, who cares about character?
Yeah. Yeah, and like you said, we can talk about that all day too, as far as the pay scale for running backs,
right?
Or I mean, not running back, but for professional ball players. Mm-hmm. You know, it's really distorted to get paid millions and bazillions of dollars, but
yeah,
you know, for playing a game.
I got you.
Just to speak.
So Ezekiel Elliott is looking to have a pay sort of like that. He wants to surpass.
He wants to be the right,
but. The Cowboys said they're looking at something closer to what Le'Veon Bell is getting paid. And where do you think they're going to end up?
That's a lot of money.
Right.
I mean, so you're going to pay him, what, $13 million a year? That for
well, you would argue that he's worth it.
I would argue that he's worth it. I'm going back and forth. And like you said, the contract, then I look about, you know, how much money they're actually getting paid. They get paid buku bucks to play football, but I understand you said the longevity is not there, especially for running backs.
Exactly.
And it's not like the owners don't have the money to pay them. They have the money. Mm-hmm. It's just, I guess, a personal or prideful thing on their behalf that they don't want to give them the money, or they're afraid that everyone's going to do the same tactic where they're going to hold out. But you know.
Yeah. You know.
So what's the stop? You know, another wide receiver, or next week saying I want more money. You know.
I think, the question is there somebody already on the roster that can step up to easily replace him? One of the arguments was that, if the Cowboys win like their next few games, they're just going to let him hold out,
Right.
Shannon Sharp even said he expects him to miss half the season.
Now, I don't know about that, but just thinking back to what Emmitt Smith, they lost the first two games. Okay. And so as soon as they lost those first two games, Jerry Jones gave him his contract.
The one that he was trying to get.
Exactly. And then they went on to win Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? In his third year. So that there's precedent. So I have hope.
So you're saying Cowboys are going to be in the Super Bowl this year?
I'm not. Well, it's in the cards.
It's in the cards.
It's in the cards. We'll see.
We will definitely see. So they're playing the Giants in their opener.
It seems like they play the Giants every opener. I don't know how that works out, but it seems like every year they're playing the Giants the first game of the season.
Gotcha.
I'm looking forward to that, though.
It's going to be interesting. I think that he's probably going to miss a couple of games. I don't know if he's going to miss half the season. Because, there's still Jerry Jones is trying to be optimistic, and saying that he'll be back at the beginning, but
I mean, and there's so many, as far as there's so many ramifications for this too. It's like a lot of people are having their football fantasy drafts, like today and tomorrow.
Okay.
So are you going to draft Ezekiel Elliott, hoping that he plays, or what do you do? Because he's normally like a top 5 draft pick.
What happens if you do draft him in your fantasy? Is it like the player has an injury? What happens if you have someone in your roster?
Actually, I had Le'Veon Bell last year.
Okay.
And you're basically stuck with him.
So you're missing out on a bunch of stats.
And usually with players like of that caliber, like Ezekiel and Le'Veon Bell, they're the kind of players you actually can't cut. Where there's just a certain number of players that you actually can't cut.
Okay.
And pick up another player. So he would probably fall into that category of a can't cut player. So do you take the risk and draft him, or it's
he might be worth it.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see what happens with that. And so there was a big shocker with Andrew Luck. It's been a few days, but he's only 29 years old, and probably because of injury concerns. And some people are saying that he has an injury right now that is probably really serious, but we don't know what it is. He decided to retire. What were your feelings about that? Was it shocking? Was it you don't care, or is it a big deal?
It was shocking, But it seems like every year he's been hurt and been injured. Right. So I guess he's just reached that point where, you know, his body just told him no. He can't do this. I can't keep doing this over and over again.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, you got to take care of yourself. I can understand maybe the fans being a little bit mad, but people are really like angry about it. And you got to understand a person trying to take care of themselves so that they, once they get in, so that they can get into old age and have some quality of life in their old age.
And that would just, you know, that would be confirmation for me. If I was Andrew, that they were actually booing me, I'm like, you know what?
The fair weather fans.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. They're there to be entertained.
Entertain me. Right. Yeah.
So he made $122 million over 7 years of playing.
Right.
Does he owe his fans anything?
No, he don't owe them nothing. No.
But that money came from them.
No, the money that come from them.
They pay for tickets. They watch TV and get the advertising dollars in there, and
he entertained them for those 7 years.
7 years, right?
You know, they didn't win any Super Bowls, but he was entertaining. He was always, you know, in the hunt whenever he was on the field, which wasn't a whole lot, but still.
I agree. You know that it's his choice, and I totally respect it. It makes sense to me. I don't want to be 60 years old and can't remember when I was 50, you know, and that is happening to a lot of these guys, you know, that played football back in the day. There's a big penalty health-wise for playing years and years of football.
What does that say about the fans, though, that you would boo a man, you know, who obviously has issues, you know, say health issues, serious health issues.
It reminds me of the mob. I think particularly of Gladiator, you know, where the only thing they want is the entertainment. They don't care about you if you're losing, but if you're a winner, you need to be here to entertain me, and that's what it reminds me.
I mean, he played with a lacerated liver last year. You know what I'm saying? He risked his life, you know, for these fans.
I know,
I'm sure he doesn't do it for the fans. He does it to win the Super Bowl, but still.
He was a 4-time Pro Bowler.
Oh, okay.
So he's proven himself that he's a football player. He loves the game, but something is obviously saying, I got to get out now.
Yeah.
You know, and I totally respect that. Like I said, you know, I don't hold anybody to entertaining me regardless of their health. That's ridiculous. But, you know, some football fans are just like that, and I'm surprised that you're not.
Well, see, now, and you know what? It might be because they're not my team. Had it been the Cowboys and it was, you know, like Dirk, I'm like, you better get out there, Dak.
Right.
Because when you mentioned that, I thought about my Yankees, and I was like, because one player in particular, Dee, he hurt himself. I forgot, he got hit with the ball.
Okay.
And so he took 3 games off just because he got hit with a ball. I'm like, are you serious?
Hey,
just a ball, you know.
Well, if Matt Ryan decided to retire, I would be okay with that.
Matt Ryan's a tough guy.
I mean, he is a tough guy who can go play somewhere else, as far as I'm concerned.
Because he's gotten his share of licks behind that offensive line that the Falcons have. So
it's going to be a different season this year.
And preseason already. What are you talking about? Have you seen any preseason?
It's preseason. Preseason doesn't count.
All right. Okay.
All of my Falcons fans, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what's going to happen this year. And, you know, be sure to like, share, and subscribe on the channel. And hopefully we'll get some more of these to you. So Andrew Luck is gone. And in comes Jay-Z, who's partnering with the NFL for social justice initiatives and entertainment programming.
What does that really mean? I mean,
first of all, social justice initiatives, that sounds very noble. I assume that he's going to work with them to try to be more caring for the public. I guess black people in particular, and maybe not. I'm just throwing that out there. But it sounds like a good initiative, social justice. I don't know exactly what the aim is with that. Have you any insights? Or
not a whole lot, but it's just curious to me on the NFL. I'm assuming I don't know how it worked, whether he solicited them or they came at him about this position. You know, because But to select Jay-Z for the media part of it, I don't know. I'm just real curious to me.
I got you. And so I guess he's going to have the option to do the entertainment part of the Super Bowl.
Now that I get, I can understand because he's going to attract all types of entertainers to work with him. But as far as maybe Jay-Z has a long history of social justice programs that I'm just not aware of.
Well, he's hired lawyers for a lot of different people who couldn't afford lawyers.
Okay.
So he is doing work of the community.
Okay,
in,
cool.
In general, of course, he helped Meek Mill with his issue. I think he hired lawyers for him, and he's done it for other people as well. So he's doing the work, and that's why I don't really have a problem with this. I think Jay-Z is doing good things. As far as with sports, he has a sports agency, and they represent people, athletes across different sports. And I think he had a hand in, was it moving the Nets from
New Jersey to Brooklyn?
Yeah. So he's not out of his element. So.
No, I wouldn't say he's out of his element, especially with his, his whole, the Rock Nation, and they're kind of touching a little bit of everything, and exactly. I like that. I like the conglomerate feel of what Jay-Z is trying. But to your point, I don't have a problem with his partnership with the NFL. Mm-hmm. I just have a little problem with some of the things that were said during that initial press conference.
And I think it all could have been avoided had he not said, "We've moved past kneeling." Everything would have been fine.
Why would you say that?
I understood.
He's not an NFL player.
No, he's not.
So how can you tell anyone that your protest is no longer needed? The way that you want to protest. Granted, there may be, and I know he followed up by saying that, it's time to do something else. Okay, maybe it's time for you to do something else. But you don't get to tell me how to protest. You don't get to tell me how I want to. You can't do that.
And I don't think that's what he's saying. I don't think he's saying stop kneeling. I think he's saying it's time to step up.
You put words in his mouth. I heard what he said.
He didn't say stop kneeling. He said we've moved past kneeling.
What does that mean?
Which means that we've seen what kneeling does, what it accomplishes.
But
now we want more. And you've heard people saying he wants a seat at the table. He has that.
When was Jay-Z kneeling though? He said we moved past it.
We as a people.
Oh, so here we go with the black people all as one people.
And we know we're not. I totally agree with that.
So that I have a problem with that too. We're not one thing.
Okay, so why is it that you assume that he went when he said we? Why did you include yourself in that we?
Wait a minute, did I include myself in that we?
You said he doesn't represent us.
No, I didn't. No, I said he doesn't represent all black people.
You're not black all of a sudden. I hear you.
You know what I mean.
I think I do. So, Colin Kaepernick and other players were kneeling during the playing of the Star Spangled Banner during the beginnings of NFL football games. So, I think you were asking the question, would you be kneeling if they did that at your job every day?
That's a great question. It really makes you wonder and think, would you have the gall to actually take a knee when they're doing the Pledge of Allegiance or at work?
That's a great question. I mean, my question would be, why are they doing this? Why do we have to hear it every day? It's sort of like brainwashing. I think if something's good enough and powerful enough to believe in, you don't have to bang it into a person's head every day.
Now, and this kind of all started, the reinforcement of the Star Spangled Banner, I think right after 9/11 is when we really started pumping it up real hard.
Okay.
You're right, though. We live in America. Right. We all know we live in America. We all know that we're Americans. So why do we? I can understand if you're going overseas, going to Canada, or you're having a game or something over there, then you would play, because I'm an American, I'd like to hear my national anthem overseas or something like that.
Yeah.
But you're right. I don't know why we do that. Practice that.
I guess the NFL and other leagues have partnerships with, I don't know, the military perhaps. I forgot exactly how that works. But the question is, why is that done? Because like we don't do it at our jobs every day. Why is it done on sports, or with sports? So, and I'm definitely not anti-American. I'm an American, and I actually am not ashamed to say that I do love this country, because I've gotten things and have certain freedoms that I wouldn't have elsewhere.
Yeah,
there's a lot of great countries, but I'm okay with this one. It's there's stuff to work on, of course.
All right,
but I can't imagine another country that I want to be in instead.
No, this is the best country. This we're it.
I didn't say it was the best country.
No, this is the best country.
But I'm not going anywhere else except to visit, and I would love to have a house in Jamaica just to go to every now and then. But yeah, so there's a lot of questions about it, and different feelings. But I'm okay with the Jay-Z NFL partnership myself.
Yeah.
And I don't see a problem with it. And like he said, it's better to have a seat at the table of the people that you're arguing with than just to argue with them.
That bothers me too.
Explain.
It's like, okay, there he gets with that we thing. He's got to see. Who's got to see the table for? For himself.
And that's
stop
fine.
it.
That's fine.
Well, okay, stop saying, oh, it's good to have a seat at the table. You got to see the table for yourself, not for anyone else, not for.
But you
not
say
for all Black Americans.
No, and again, I don't see all Black Americans as one person or as one group. We have a lot of different beliefs, a lot of different ways of living, and a lot of different ideas of who we as individuals are. But at the same time, we can't deny that there is discrimination because of skin color in the U.S. All you need to do is look at certain places, certain workplaces, and
right.
They'll tell you, oh, we chose from the best, to work here, and it just happens to be all white. Well, no, it's because you.
Well, what's funny? So it's going to be interesting when the new census is completed, because we've all heard that Black people are only 13% of the population of the United States, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. I always think that number is always understated for some reason, personally.
Very possible.
Yeah. That's my opinion on that. But
I got you. We'll see. All right. Yeah. So good discussion. We disagree a little bit, but that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think good things are going to come from the Jay-Z deal, and I think it's going to grow.
I think this is real, because right now there's no Black NFL owners. So I think this is kind of a platform where, Jay-Z's got I don't say a little, but he's got a foot in the door, like you said.
Yeah.
And maybe he can launch this into maybe purchasing a team.
Right. We'll
I
see.
I can see him doing that.
A piece of a team.
A piece of a team, right.
All by himself, yeah. Okay. So again, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Be sure to like the video and leave us your thoughts on each of these: Ezekiel Elliott, Andrew Luck's retirement, and Jay-Z's deal with the NFL. And let us know what your thoughts are. Anything else, RJ?
No, not it. Let's say we got my draft. I got one tonight, actually.
Okay.
We'll see where I'm at. I'm not sure what slot I'm picking in, but I'm not sure if I'll pick Zeke. We'll see.
All right. Well, good luck to all of you who are playing fantasy football this year. And we are going to get out. And thanks for joining us.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.